Welcome to the Be the Fresh Start podcast. Today I have with me Ryan Strickland. My name is Idan Shpizear. Ryan, what's up?
What's going on, Idan? Doing good, man. Thanks for having me on. It's looking forward to hanging out and doing a little chatting and sharing some thoughts and ideas with you.
Absolutely awesome. Yeah, I'm excited. As soon as I thought about doing the podcast, I thought the first guy that I'm going to bring on is Ryan.
It's quite an honor, man. That's awesome. I couldn't think of anything more exciting to be a part of than your first podcast and just kind of sharing my experiences that we've been through over the last years together. Awesome.
Yes. So let's jump to it. Give us like a 5 minutes about where you started, what got you into the business, which business are you in today, because people don't know anything about you.
Sure.
Well,
I grew up in North Carolina, nice little small southern town. Graduated high school, and I went to school to manage turf grass. I majored in turf grass management. Went to a local community college here, and I had big plans to be a golf course superintendent. I love horticulture. I got into it in high school, and our teacher introduced us into golf course management, and I went for it. And then I spent 3 years up there, got my degree, and I spent about 12 years in the golf course industry managing golf courses, and it was just a lot of fun. We did renovations, big reconstructions, rebuilt golf courses. I worked at three different golf courses, and it was just a really great career, and I enjoyed it. And there was a little bit of a shift in sort of maybe finances and business, and then there was kind of a family push to bring families back together. So people weren't playing golf as much, and then there was a financial strain. I want to say it was back early 2000s, maybe mid 2005, somewhere around there.
okay.
It got tough. So I looked into other opportunities and actually lost my job. And boy, you're talking about changing things and make you look for something new. That'll do it. And that'll definitely, put you on a fast track to try to get the family and everything taken back together. But I always had a desire to start a business. I played around with it while I was in the golf course. I'd install irrigation and I'd do landscape stuff, and it's always intriguing, but never really put a strong effort to do the financial thing, or maybe I thought it was just out of my reach, but I had the opportunity, and that was where everything opened up. And came home and told my wife, "Hey, I don't have a job. What are we going to do?" I said, "I don't know. We're going to figure something out." So anyways, my brother-in-law had been talking to me about starting a carpet cleaning company. He happened to operate one, and it sounded like a really good idea. So I said, "Okay, let's look into it." So believe it or not, we put this thing together in about 3 to 4 weeks. I had a good friend of mine, who was in the car dealership business. He had a carpet cleaning unit. And so there it was. So the business was started, and we went out and, just started making connections with people. And it was just a lot of fun. And we did that for several years. And
I want to jump in here for a quick second. A lot of business owners, especially, you had the situation that you got fired, but suddenly you find a new opportunities. Before you got to the carpet cleaning business, did you do any market research of how big is the business, or what's the potential, or just, I know somebody knows enough about the business, so I just went through it?
I just really jumped in, I mean, at the time we had to do something fast, and I was still applying for other jobs, but there was that inside thing that my wife and I really wanted. We had a great idea to be in business and be business owners. And I felt like I had some really great qualities that were overlooked in, as an employee, working for others and other organizations. And, there's really one great way to try to find out if it works. And, that's to be the guy that makes the decisions. And that's kind of how all that came out. So really very little other than my brother-in-law saying, "Hey man, you can really do well with this. And there's some opportunities if you go for it." And so that's kind of how all that came about. I had no idea even how to market or nothing. I mean, it was just like me, show up and smile.
So describe so the business is open, right? You have the machine is there, you're ready to go. What next?
Well, then your father-in-law calls you and says, "Hey, come down to the garage. I want to talk to you." And he ain't worried about me. It was not worried about me. He was worried about his daughter that
Yeah.
I could continue to take care of her and our family. So anyhow, so from there, he's a general manager of a car dealership, so he kind of understands sales, and I was never really in that environment. And so every day, really every day, I'd go down to the garage there, and he'd be doing something. He'd give me a number. Hey, here's Strother Property Management. Go call them. I know Diane, or I know such and such. Have you called them? Or what did you do today? Who did you talk to? It was always, because if somebody doesn't ask you what's your plan or check on your plan, it's gonna be the same thing every day. You ain't gonna do nothing. So you got to be accountable to somebody. So he created that accountability. And man, before I know, this was it was October, November, like the worst time to start a carpet cleaning business. And so before long, January and December, things kind of picked up, and I got a foothold and was really making some connections. And it was all face to face, cold call selling. I'd go out there, shake hands. Hey, how you doing? Would love to help you. And then things started clicking, and before you know it, I had a pretty much a full calendar schedule in my little schedule book. So it was knowing you got somebody in your corner was big. Having my father-in-law, I really knew he believed in me. I think he was worried that I could pull this off, but he believed in me, and he kept me accountable, and he always shared just a little bit. He'd share some information that was valuable, and that's kind of how everything got up and going. And then, within 6 months, we were a good startup business. Weren't raking in everything, but things was functional. It was working, and we were creating networks. So it was really good.
Good. I'm happy. So a lot of businesses, when they start, they have the fear of making their first phone call, right? Like who I'm going to call, what I'm going to tell him. He doesn't know anything about me. How did you have the fear, or you felt comfortable with it? How was the experience?
Yeah, well, you had the fear. I still have it. I still get it today. It's just, it's something, on the inside, nobody likes to be told no. That's probably what's on the other side of the door. But, you just kind of, I sort of inside, I get amped up, maybe pretend like I'm doing jumping jacks. I'm getting ready to go. Okay, here we go. This is who I am. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I can help you, and so then I'm ready. And then you just hit the door. And then from there, really, I think one of the approaches that I've always tried to make out of it is, even though it's difficult and even though it's hard, that you're probably 70% probably going to get blown off. They're going to walk through, see you and ignore you. And then you stand there and turn around and leave. But there's an opportunity that you can make a friend, or you make a connection, or you can meet somebody new. That is the one thing that I try to keep, that helps me keep making that call and let me forget no, I'm not interested, or whatever. See you later. It keeps you sort of numb from the constant no, but it also makes you look forward to meeting somebody new. And then when it does work, running out the door and being excited that you've created another opportunity, you've brought in some potential revenue and build a relationship with somebody that can, send you multiple opportunities, multiple jobs. So that's sort of how I approached that in the very beginning.
No, look, I'm speaking with so many small business owners, and they have this fear of, they feel more comfortable cleaning the machine, setting up the equipment, cleaning up the van. And, and many times what you need to do is you need to jump on the phone, right? You need to make these phone calls. You need to go and shake hands.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's something that we have to do as a small business to bring clients in, right?
Yeah. It's an easy habit to fall into. One of my things that I've been working on the last 2 years is exactly what you're talking about. Is, you in the beginning, you start out, that's, you're the CEO, you're the receptionist, you're the guy that pays the bill, you're the dude that's cleaning the carpet or setting up the equipment. You're carrying all these jobs, all these hats, and eventually you take a hat off and you pass it on to somebody else. And the hardest part when you get to, you get the business established is you've created a rut. and you're stuck in it, and that rut, it's not bad because it's functioning, it's producing. You're doing jobs, you're bringing in money, you're being a laborer, and that's great. But you can't get out of it because you feel like you have to be there because it hasn't. The best part, about getting out of that rut which is exciting for me, and I thoroughly enjoy it, is empowering others an opportunity to take. When you pass that hat, you get to see somebody learn that, and then I can take the things that I need to focus on, then I can move my attention here, and I'm not over here. It doesn't devalue the job that out in the field. It just moves our focus into something that can be more productive, that really, in the grand scheme of things, bring new jobs, bring new opportunity for people to come and work with you in the organization.
What you just brought up is such a big deal for so many people. So do you mind kind of giving a real example where you really need to take one hat off and give it to somebody else? Like, how was it? What was the process? How long it took? And can you give a real example here? Because I think
I have a really recent one, and it's a personal growth thing that I've been working on. And really, sometimes it just happens. You don't realize it. That a couple of weeks ago, we had an employee interaction, and it didn't go too well for me. I didn't like what happened, and I kind of felt like it was my place to talk about it and address it, and I did. And it was with some staff members and my office director, my branch director, and in my federal office. And so it all happened. Then we left, and we were at a job site together with my branch director. And I said, "Hey, Jason," I said, "what do you think about that?" I was asking for feedback because I know it didn't feel right. I felt okay, but so then he looked at me. He said, "Man," he said, "I'm gonna be really honest with you." He said, "I don't think it was that big of a deal." And I was like, "Really?" He said, "No, I really didn't." And so we talked a little bit more about it, and it was about an hour conversation off and on while we were at inspection. And then he said, "Man," he said, "I'm going to share something with you. I'm very little uncomfortable doing it. It makes me nervous talking about it, but I want to share something with you." He said, "Sometimes I think, you just drag it on too much." But he gave me some positive feedback that as soon as he said it, it made me think, and it was about getting out of a position. His position was to be the branch director. He's running the shop, and I have given him all my support, and everybody knows that. And then this event, I stepped out of where I should have been into his lane or his area of functioning. And, I kind of misbehaved a little bit. But I realized that I hadn't completely transitioned. I'd given him everything. He was running the office. I gave him all the support, but I hadn't let go for two reasons. I hadn't let go of one, handling the staff, the team directly. I still wanted it. I was like 10% because I've done it for 11 years. I've talked to my team. I've told them what they're going to do every day. I've encouraged them. I've told them our plans. And that's changed intentionally because I'm trying to grow and do, change in my job and stuff like that. And so I was still holding on to that. So it made me realize it. And then the other thing, I was a little nervous. And it's okay to be nervous, but I was nervous that maybe my team didn't necessarily understand how we communicated, the emotional aspects of how our business, our branch communicates back to our community. But I was holding on to it and I didn't let it go. And I apologize. I actually apologize. I say, "Man, listen, I realized I overstepped my bounds. I told you this is your position. And I actually went in and operated under your job." But it was a good experience because I realized that I was making effort to move out, and I actually thought I had done it, but I didn't. And then, so another opportunity of empowering my branch manager probably feels a whole lot better. Hey, this guy's going to get out of my way again, and then I apologized. I apologized to our team member and said, "Hey, listen, I was out of line, and I apologize." And then I told her, I said, "Listen, Jason, you should be working directly with Jason, and I stepped out of my lane, because that was sort of what the whole topic was about." So that's it, getting out of the way, man, and learning how to pass the hat.
That's absolutely big. I mean, one of the things that I love about it, that Jason felt comfortable enough to tell you, get out of the way. I got it, right? And
Yep.
you were comfortable enough to recognize it, apologizes for it, right? And then empowering even more.
Yep.
So that is a great thing. That is something that everybody that opened a business, right, at one point want to work on the business. But it's this letting go that's really stopping us from empowering other people because we feel like we need to control everything.
Yeah, it's very hard.
So what got you to start, going through that steps of empowering, letting go, and really striving to be at the point that you're working on the business?
Well, it's, I love to see people get better, grow personally, have good career opportunities. And, I also knew that running the business with me as the center on every job and on touching all the stuff and leading, it was literally physically going to take me out. It was hard, and you can't live that lifestyle. And also it's trapping, you work so hard to develop a business that takes care and provides a particular lifestyle, whatever that may be, whatever, you're shooting for, and you can't even do it because you have to be at work every day, and you don't want to shut down for 2-3 weeks, so that was kind of where it was at. And I had to make a decision that, I need to find people and help them understand, get what's in me into them so they can apply it. And then, it was a process. It started out with I needed to get an assistant, a right-hand tech, inspector. So we started out, and it takes a long time. It didn't happen right off the bat. Matter of fact, I probably struggled in that stage for at least 2 years, and because it's you got to find the people. And that's very difficult. It's extremely hard to find that particular skill set, and what I was looking for. But you just keep learning and you keep trying, and you have to give them freedom to do it. And each path along the way, I would say, okay, so what's my job going to be? What am I going to do? And then what jobs do I need to pass on to somebody else? So, and within about, I think where we got to this point, it took a good, it took a year probably for Jason to really solidify his understanding of being the branch manager to where I'm not really directing the day-to-day operations and effectively know, okay, this is the decision making that we're going to do, just working together hand in hand, with me. So it's uncomfortable, but you got to do it.
Let me jump in for a second. How many people do you have working for you today?
There's 11 here in the Fayetteville branch and 2 in the South Carolina branch. So roughly 12, 14 on any given time. So
we started with you getting fired, jumping into the carpet cleaning, right? Your father-in-law worried a little bit, push you into making phone calls and getting out there and start bringing in clients. And you went from you with the carpet cleaning machine and making some phone calls. Today, fast forward, you have 12 and 14 people working for you in 2 different branches, right? Two different locations. If I'm starting a business now, right, and I'm on my own and I want to go from, me and another guy to 5 or 6 guys on my team, what is the things that you did that worked very well for you to bring good people and making sure that they're staying with you?
Yeah, don't forget, probably very important that in this story of going from the guy that got fired to the guy that's, has 12 to 14 staff members, there's struggles along the way. There's times where work doesn't come in, or maybe a particular revenue stream falls off, and then you got to figure out, how do I overcome this? And I experienced that. Part of what we do today, we don't even clean carpet anymore. We're a full restoration service company. And, it got to a point to where I was worried were we going to be cleaning carpet. And so, I was trying to figure out, my wife and I, she runs the business with me. What are we going to do? How are we going to overcome this? Because literally we had a main account that was gone. I mean, it was like overnight.
Yeah.
And so, but we were working on a long-term plan to not be relying on it. And so we networked with a franchisor. So that's when we had joined 911. And we were looking for two things. One, we knew our business needed to change because we were watching. You got to keep your vision out beyond just this week. You got to see months, years in advance. I mean, I knew this was going to happen in the carpet cleaning business. I mean, I saw it. It was going to happen in 3 years, and it actually happened in 4. So we changed our strategy. We changed the type of service that we did before it was too late, and then we got it growing. And then actually 2 years ago, we shut the carpet cleaning business down. And so now, and this is, so this is kind of what we do. So before you get there, you have to be able to see ahead of you, see the struggles. You got to work through the struggles because, I have struggles today. I had struggles last year, and every year there's some sort of struggle that you have to think and overcome. And that's when you get to the 14. You start bringing in people. You hire your first employee. You hire your 10th employee because you're going to go through 10 to find one, and then you're going to talk to them or you're going to make a connection. And then you create more opportunity. Then you bring in more employees. And they start believing what's going on in that office. And, I think people probably refer to it as culture. They refer to it as business environment, whatever. But really, what goes on is the reflection of the people, the character of the people that were there. And, my restoration company, the way it connected to the community and operated in the office space is exactly like our carpet cleaning company, because it was character. And that's what draws people. And then for me, I know my weaknesses. I know the areas that I need to learn in. And so I'm always trying to find somebody who can overcome or help me bring that information that I don't have. So, if Jason does well with people, talks well with them, and he's very calm and patient, I'm very energetic and, ready to go. That doesn't always work out, and so I surround myself with people who their strengths are my weakness. And we all begin to complement each other. So that's sort of the process. I know it's kind of a long descriptive picture, but that's how we got from 1 to 14.
Got it. No, that's good. So if somebody is listening to this podcast now and is starting a business, right, and you talk about strengths and weaknesses, right, analyzing your own strengths and weaknesses as a business owner, and then choosing the right people to bring on the team, right, based on the business needs and your needs. Right. And the goal is to find the right people that you can grow with them. Right. So are you hiring more based on character or more of industry knowledge?
I've really done both. My branch director now that we have, I mean, he came in. Actually, he came in. I hired him as a carpet cleaning tech, the lead tech for the carpet cleaning van. He really didn't have a lot of experience with the restoration business. And I told him when I hired him, I said, hey, you're probably not going to last in this position long because if you do well, from what I got in the interview, I'm probably going to pull you over into the restoration company. And but that was more, I knew what I needed. I needed a guy who had some really good sales skill set. So I was looking for somebody who was very self-confident. And in the interview, he came across very self-confident, and he portrayed himself that way. And we talked about different things. He was very straightforward with me. So that was, one way I actually picked for a particular job that wasn't even quite open, but it was there. And so it was a job in prep. And then, when we're hiring technicians, sometimes I know the job really, it'd be nice if they have some, hands-on construction type experience, but they don't necessarily need to. Their attitude's good. I can have a person with a great attitude and put them in with my team, and we go out and have a great time on a job site.
Yeah.
Because, everybody keeps a pretty positive attitude. And when things don't go well, we talk about it, but they have good attitudes. You can put them in there. So you don't always need technical stuff. But, last year when I was looking for a personal executive coach for myself, I was looking at, thinking, what am I going to do? And I was looking I needed help in the weak areas. And then I wanted to get into some sales stuff. And that's kind of how I pinpointed who I was going to choose.
So how did you get to the point that you're telling yourself, I need to find a coach, right? I need to get better. What is my job, right? So what even got you to ask these questions?
I think a drive. I have a drive to really, improve every year. And the business got to a point. I was exposed to coaching by my brother-in-law had done it, or my brother had done it, and we'd spent a little time together. But just wasn't ready for it, wasn't committed. But the business had gotten to a place to where we have more staff members. More people are interacting together. Our performance, the amount of work that we're doing got bigger, and that meant I needed more skills. And I didn't want to say grow out of a mom and pop deal, but it wasn't just an owner operator kind of startup. There was a lot of moving parts. And so, and the biggest part, I was ready. I needed it. I knew I needed it. And if I didn't get it and find the right person to help me through it, everybody was going to suffer. The business was going to suffer, and we wouldn't move. And, I don't really like doing that. So I was ready. That was the biggest thing. I was tired. I was frustrated. I knew that the things that I wanted personally, I tried. There was enough opportunities or enough times that I tried to get that particular thing going, and I just couldn't get it off the ground. And it's just because I didn't have the skill set for it. So I found somebody who did. And that's kind of how that came about.
Good. Talk a little bit about your day-to-day now in the business. What's going on? Your responsibility. You wake up in the morning. What's going on?
So when I get up, I come to one of the offices. Typically, I start my week off at the federal office, and then I come in. It's changed, like that conversation that I just said. Usually, I'm really not directing anything. I'm there just to be here and be in the meetings, and if there's any feedback that anybody asks for me, I'll give them the feedback. And I kind of have my day planned. I'll do the morning meeting with everybody, take part in that. And then usually today I had a couple inspections to meet. I had a client that I needed to meet and show her different qualities of the cabinets because she kind of had a different idea. And so I shared her with that information. And then usually I do have a time slot that I have set aside to do my cold calling. We call it the golden hour. And that's something that I've added to my skill set over the last really 3 months. That was very hard. I worked on it over the last year, and I finally got a groove, and I'm sharing it, man. I'm telling the guys, hey, man, y'all need to get your sheet. You need to set an hour aside, and you need to block your time, and you need to do it. Don't make excuses. So that's kind of some of that. And then I'm doing estimate reviews, dealing with adjusters on claim files, dealing with our clients. I still write some estimates, so I'm still doing some office stuff. Okay. And then bouncing back and forth, between our different sites.
Got it. Good. So I want to go back to the 1 hour. How did you call it? The 1 hour.
It's called the golden hour. It's probably it's probably a sales thing, I think, but that's what my coach gave me, called the golden hour.
It's so important. I wish more people understand that in your business, and this is what I call working on the business. This is where you are bringing clients in. You're not just busy responding to everything that happened to you. You're being proactive. So I love it. And if this is something that I see, right, because I work with so many business owners, the guys that are being more proactive, more focused on their target, and understand that every day, every week at least, you have to do something to move the business forward is so important.
Mm-hmm.
So important.
It's hard though, Don. It's difficult. It's the hardest thing as a business owner to do.
Yeah.
Because I guess mentally, naturally, you devalue it in a way, even though you know it's so valuable.
Yeah.
Because it's just, you think I need to be out in the field. I need to be out in the field, but really our time is so much more valuable making connections, and reaching out to people, and we naturally, I think it's just a natural habit for us to avoid the golden hour. And I did it. My coach was like, Ryan, how's your golden hour going? Well, I mean, I'm getting it. I mean, I got my hour in. I'm calling 5 people. Yeah, but what time are you? What time is it? Well, I set it for 10 o'clock, or I first started at 2. And I said, so you're doing it? No, I'm calling them. When did you call them? I don't know. I've called 1 here and 1 this day. And he said, man, that's good. I mean, let's celebrate that you're calling.
Yeah.
Missing the important part. You are isolating and doing something intentional that nobody can get to you. I've told my manager, hey, I'm making a call. I'm making calls this hour, so they don't bother me. I turned my phone off. The coach even said he'll tell you about the iPhone airplane mode. Turn it off. Nobody can call you. Now, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah. Now today you understand, right? I mean, it's very hard. It's hard because it's very uncomfortable, right? We're very comfortable doing what we're comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
We used to, I mean, what we do, we go out to the field, we meet client, and we're solving problems. But it's been very reactive. But
it
sounds to me that today it's very clear to you that it's super important to be proactive and work on the business.
I'm getting out of the reactive form. I haven't perfected it. I don't have it down 100%, but I talk to the guys all the time, and they probably hate that I use habit, but I am developing a better habit. I'm changing my habits, and I don't like the reactive thing. And that was, it's like, we don't have any work this week. Well, what do we do? I don't know, call the jobs that we've been trying to close for 3 or 4 weeks, or, let's work harder next on this mold job or whatever. Those are it's so reactive. We haven't completely gotten out of it, but when you're dedicating time that target people, individuals, and businesses that can connect with you, that you can both help each other out and share work, your pipeline, your workflow is so much better. It's more economical. Doesn't cost that much because, you're making friends. It's free. You gotta, being proactive. I'm building a pipe. I'm building my connections. I'm letting them know they're here. We're creating a relationship because one day, we're going to need to help them, or maybe they may need to help me, so we can be there for each other. So that's that, it's discipline, Idan. It's discipline. It's so hard. It's so hard to change the old habits and, really focus in on the new ones. But it's fun. It is fun. It's hard, but it's fun.
I think what we're covering now, I think is a huge one, right? Because, it's like getting out of the truck, right? Is that process of not doing what we used to do every day. If you want your business to grow, you have to evolve, right? You get to the point that you're being proactive and you're getting out of the habit of being reactive to it. So you've been doing it now for about 3 months, kind of pushing harder.
Pushing harder and really, doing my research because, the golden hour is an hour, but the golden hour isn't the time to plan on who I'm going to call. That's set. Last week I added a new habit. I've done my research and I found myself not being completely prepared. So on my Google Calendar, where I have that hour set, and it's every week, that hour, that day, it's repetitive. And so last week I actually went in and I wrote the 5 people or 6 people their name and the number. And then I went to my spreadsheet, and at 11 o'clock Actually, I got started early last week. I started at 10:30 and I got an extra call in. But I'm ready. I wasn't planning because in the past I would pull up my sheet, look, okay, I'm just gonna call this guy. Well, that's not really planning. That's just, let's pick a number, bottom for apples. So, and I'm honing it in and it's getting better. I'm getting more comfortable because, it still stinks to make cold calls because you don't know what's going to happen on the other line. You may get blown off, but, hey, we're making new connections and that's, so I'm getting better, taking a little while.
Are you already seeing results off of it? Kind of how you are?
Yeah. I've been, working on this communication, connecting, cold calling for, I guess, right at a year, the training and development and understanding how to go about and connect with them. And early on, even from the beginning, I saw progress, but the habit is stay in contact.
So it was
keep reaching out.
Got it. So it was clear to you that this is the right thing to do, right? Yeah. You didn't have the disbelief that doing an hour a week or hour a day you knew it's not going to be a waste of time. You knew it's going to be good for the business. It's just building the habit of getting out from the reactive mode to be super proactive and working on the business. So that's the biggest shift, because there is no question that if you're going to get out there and build relationship over a long period of time, or sometimes even a short period of time, it's going to work.
Yeah. And I mean, right. You get out there and do it. And, what am I doing now? I mean, I'm doing this process because I'm experiencing it. I want to understand it. And I'm going to pass this on to somebody else. Somebody is going to be doing what I'm doing today, and then my golden hour will maybe be different connections, but I'm learning a system that needs to be in place in my organization. I'm figuring out how to do it. I'm creating my skills. That way, when somebody says, hey, you can't do it, or I can't do it. Yeah, you can. Because, I had a hard time with it too, but these are, where are you struggling? And so now we're sharing information, and now I'm being an encourager, and, we're working together and creating more opportunities. So, when the data, back to what you were talking about, when I saw that it worked, and I saw that if I did this particular activity, it worked. And then if I fine-tuned it and isolated a specific time that nobody could interrupt, and took a chance and did it, and realized that, wow, this is helping. I had someone call me back like a week later. Hey, by the way, I got something, for you. Maybe you can help me out here. It was like, wow, it's just, you have that experience. And once you get it, man, I don't want to stop. I don't want to miss my golden hour. Am I going to be perfect? I don't know. I really hope I hit my golden hour this week. I'm going to work hard at it, but I'm disappointed if I don't,
Yeah. So one of the things that I see out there a lot, and this is part of my process as well, right? Me growing in the business and I'm going through my processes, is in the beginning, we are very much, like short-term thinkers, right? Mm-hmm. Like results right now. If I'm not going to get another client right now, then it's not good, right? Because we're chasing, like we need immediate result. But you said something that I think it's gold, and I celebrated just making the calls, right? Forget about the results for a second. Mm-hmm. You celebrated, hey, I spent an hour, I made phone calls, great job, right? Celebrate just the new behavior, regardless of the results, if they came in or not. Mm-hmm. Right? So I think that's,
Yeah, I mean, you gotta reward yourself, my coach, when he's done with his call, he has a cup of coffee. That's his reward, So every day at 10 o'clock, he has a cup of coffee. That's how he rewards himself for getting his stuff done. Like me, when I like to talk to somebody. I like to share with them about it. And usually it's my guys. Hey man, how'd your calls go today? Well, and well, cool. Look, I talked to these. Did you get anything back? And then you just get this dynamic of, talking to each other, and you're finding new things, what worked well for them, but you yeah, you just really have to celebrate the small things, and then you'll create another one, and then you get another celebration, and then before you know it, now you're celebrating an account that you were shooting at for a year ago, and now they're now on your regular service. So small wins get to those big victories.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's so important to celebrate the small wins, because this is the psychology of building a new habit, right? You do something small, great job. You do something small, great job. You celebrate it with yourself, and then at one point it just become part of what you do every day. And this is really where you see a long-term success. So tell me, be the fresh start, right? This is what we want to bring out. We want to share with other small business owners. We want to bring the fresh start to them, right? Our goal is bringing fresh start to people, to communities, to companies, to employees, to clients. We want to be the fresh start in their life. So talk about what the fresh starts mean to you, kind of how it comes across every day for you.
When I think about that, when I just even saying, that statement, fresh start, to me, it's internal. It kind of connects internal. It creates something. It sort of wells up inside. And, when I first came in contact with the fresh start was when you and I met, and we were discovering 911. But what it wasn't necessarily the business opportunity. There was a time in our life where, we knew we needed to do something. We knew we needed to change in our business. And we were looking for new opportunity. We were business owners, owner operators, and we came from the workplace where we worked with other people and you work together. Well, when you're an owner operator, you don't always have that. So we were kind of looking to fulfill something in our life. And that was the beginning of it. And it just, the fresh start to us begins to be a way that we live, the way we connect with people. And it's not like a motto, but it's almost the way you see the world and the way you connect with your community. The fresh start is it's a new opportunity. It's a restart. It's a reset. Maybe you're going through difficulties and thinking back of different ways that this statement has really put a staple in our life, or my life personally, is there was something that needed to be changed. Maybe it was a difficulty. Sometimes it's an excitement. Sometimes it's something new. A couple of years ago, wanting to open up a new branch. I mean, that's a fresh start. Those are new beginnings. Obviously, big challenges, but it's an excitement, and it's how you connect. Now, how do we do that on an everyday basis through work? The type of business that we're in is in disaster restoration. It's difficult. I'm meeting new people in the worst possible time, be it water or fire has happened. Emotionally, they're almost done, if not really at that point. They have no answers. They have no idea what to do. And we get to engage with them and show compassion, understanding. We're just not walking into their house, with our beautiful truck and equipment, and let's do that. To us, is the way that's side. That happens on the side. The equipment gets dropped, our trucks drive up, we do whatever, but really when we're there, it's a way we connect with people. We're connecting with them. We're listening to them when I hear concern, and you can hear that when their anxiety may get up a little bit. If you're listening, you can pay attention to it and then address it directly. Hey, listen, we can worry about that later. That's so with our clients, that's kind of how we do it at work. Amongst our teams, we look for different ways. We get excited when everybody has a win, experiences something new. Maybe it takes on a new position. Last Friday we had a cookout, man. I mean, it started out with my idea to have an oyster roast, and then Jason was like, "Man, let's roast a gator," and I'm like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, man, you ever had a gator?" I was like, "I've never had it." What? No, let's roast a gator. And then, for long, Friday we had gator, And then my dad, who did the cooking and, got all the prep stuff, man, he was making fried oyster po' boys and crawfish tail po' boy. I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, you thought 50 people were coming around. We only had like 15, but it was fun, But I mean, we had a good time together, and it was just to me, it was a good way to celebrate a new year, a good way to celebrate all the hard work we've done in the past couple of months. And then also a nice way to just kind of rejuvenate, take some time off, hang out with each other, and then reset and get back out there. So there's lots of different ways that, fresh start really applies, in your life. And we've applied it in our business. So there's just little small things that that is done for the fresh start idea or the fresh start lifestyle has really impacted me personally.
Yeah. How big you think is the impact on your clients when you really get there with this be the fresh start? I call it attitude, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you think you impacting them?
It can be tangible at times. You can see it. It can be displayed. It definitely an icebreaker.
I'm going to jump in for a second because a lot of people out there, when they're out servicing, right, as a business owner, they're getting to see their clients, whoever it is, and they're still in the back of their mind, they worry about the rest of the world, right? My employee is going to be there on time, how much money I'm going to make, I have payroll to make, I need to pay rent, whatever it is, right? And then when you go and you meet clients, when you're in that mindset, you're not really listening. So to be active listener, it's something that you need to be aware of, right? You need to think about it. You need to train your guys. Like when you're going to meet this client, I want you to pay attention to him, right? And this is something that you're showing your employees, your team. Are you training them? You talk about it. How do you make sure that your entire organization, all of your team, your 14 people are really following this fresh start attitude?
Well, it's a couple of ways. Obviously, first and easiest is we display it. So if they're new to the team, they're seeing it. It may not be necessarily communicated, but they see it. When you serve people, when you're literally out there serving their needs, you see it. It's not something somebody has to say. Pointed out, hey, that guy over there, the guy picking up trash along the side of the road, he's serving his community. Nobody has to put up a sign and say, hey, this guy's cleaning up. There's ways you can display it that way. There's some other ways that we do in our morning huddles. Occasionally I'll bring it up, and we'll talk about the emotional words. And I brought up loss, upset, crying, things like that. And then I'll ask them, hey, when you think of loss, when and what does that word mean? What does it bring up? What type of feeling does it bring up in you? And I just give me some words. Let's bounce around. And then they'll say things like, nervous and scared and anxious. And that, and then from there, we start talking about, and that's, I said, so let's think about, the last customer that we serviced yesterday that had the water damage. Can you see those words? Could you see it? Because you see she was experiencing that? Yeah. Well, how can we take what she was experiencing? What can we do to step in the gap? Because there's gaps there. What can we do to help her or him and lift them up? Give them a boost that the anxiety, like I say it, I want your anxiety. That's when I tell them that, I actually say, I want you to pick up anxiety, loss, frustration, stress. I want you to pick it up off of them, and I want you to put it around your neck. Let us carry it, because that's what we do. That is one of the biggest ways that we serve our clients. I want it. Put it on me. I want you to be able to relax and know as best you can that we're here to help you, through it. And that's what we talk about. So we'll talk about that. Another time I was reading a book, and it was just about, how everybody has a specific role. And when each of those roles are put together, everything functions. But when you pull one role out and somebody maybe operates independently and forget that we need the other 2 or 3 or 4, then we end up out there and we don't have all the information. We make a mistake. I was reading a book and it was talking about an airline pilot, and he was the fighter pilot, and they're getting informations back. And it hit me. I needed to share that, and we talk about it, and so that's how we connect something that's an idea and bring it into reality. So it's tangible, so they can understand. So now everybody's thinking, well, I need to be looking out for that.
Yeah.
If I do, what can I do to meet it? And then before long, the homeowner's making chocolate fudge and giving it to you, and that just happened a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
And there they are cooking fudge, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I'm hearing you, and I think what you do is so smart. The way you communicate it to your team, the way you make them feel what the client feel, right? By using these words, by using this feeling, and make it super clear for them. This is what we're really doing for our clients. Because what we see out there too often is, especially in the business that we are in, you're out there, you need to dry houses. You need to use dehumidifiers. We need to maximize the amount of how much equipment are we going to use, right? So most of the training, most of the conversations with the team is about equipment, setup, van, and how fast we're getting there. But you do something else that I think is amazing. You actually getting them to connect and feel and relate to the client.
Right. It's a byproduct. It becomes a byproduct. To me in our business, dehumidification, drying, air movers, and dryers. It's a tool, and we hardly. We may talk a little bit about it, but we really don't even focus on it. It just happens. That happens as a part of us coming along and helping you through the event. And we really don't even get into the technical with them. We want them to know that their helper is there with them. And then somehow this house dries out. They don't really care about that. They just want to know that the place is back on. Yeah.
Yeah, got it. How big of an impact do you think that part had or still have on your success, right, as a business owner?
That's how I've connected. Even started with the carpet cleaning. I've always done that. I did it in my other businesses. It's a relationship thing, connecting with people. Maybe it has to do with growing up in a small town. I remember my old boss when I was in high school. He owns a grocery store in town, IGA, and Mr. Allen Carroll. And just up the road, they put a food line up the road, and it was like the little town of Stedman thought it was going to knock Mr. Allen Carroll out, and he was going to be done. He gave me a tip that when he learned I was starting my business, he told me, he said, Ryan, if you take care of the people, they'll take care of you.
Yeah.
And that's probably a lot of people share that information, but I'll never forget him saying that. And guess what? Food Line came in town, man, and they can't touch him. He's still running his business, and the people in that town still come there, and Food Line's doing well too. So, that's unity. That's, everybody living together, working together. There's multiple people can serve your community and we all get along. I think that's great too. But really it's been my approach and Leslie's approach. Cause we're talking about me, but Leslie's the back half that nobody really sees. They hear her when they call in. It's how she talks to them. It's how she listens to them. It's how she implies emotional connection and understanding. She does that on the phone. I get so many compliments about how the lady who answered the phone does such a great job. We're connecting with the community and in whatever need it could be. I don't necessarily think it would have to be restoration. I guess I could open up a restaurant if that was what I wanted to do, and my approach would be the same. It would just be, how can I feed you? You know what I mean? It's just it's been wonderful. It's been great. I think it's a key to what we've been able to accomplish here is that when you genuinely serve out of your heart and you care for people, it picks up. People pick up on it and they talk about it. Are we perfect? Do you have struggles? Yeah, sometimes some things don't work out. Sometimes you just don't make that connection, and things, you have to change. But for the most part, when you take care of the people in your community, they're going to take care of you.
Yeah.
And that's really how it's worked.
No, I'm 1,000% with you, and from my experience as well. Take care of people. People will take care of you. This is the right approach, because we are. I mean, my belief is that we are in business to solve problem, right? To help people. As much as you're helping other people get what they want, everything is going to come back to you. You don't even need to worry about it, right? This is, I mean, we're seeing it again and again, and it's always proof that this is the right way to go about business. Where I see a lot of people fail is where they're chasing money, when the only thing that they focus about it's like, how much money can I make? And when I say just focus on how many problems you can solve, how many people you can help, then everything else will just fall into place.
Yeah, the money's great. It's great when your business is doing well, and it's bringing in money. That's great, and you can do things with money, and have a great vacation and all that stuff. But the chasing of that money, if it's chasing a particular, that's what I want. I think in business you miss the most important part, and that's connecting with your customer, your client, serving them with whatever goods you do. Because money can't connect to you, it can't talk to you, it can't be there for you. I mean, it can help you do certain things, but we've seen you can see people who don't have money be happy. People who have a fair living, they're happy too. People who are very well off, they're happy. And you can take money away from these particular people. So I mean, there's no money, there's some money and a lot of money, and they're all happy. It's not money.
Yeah.
But when you use that as a business focus, I think you miss the most important part, and that's how you can connect back with the people that you're serving. And
I agree.
It's another byproduct.
I agree. So I want to ask you two questions, and I think then we're getting close to the end of it. So if I'm thinking about starting my own business, right? A young guy, I want to go into business. I want to go into the home service industry. What is the 2-3 things that you think I need to focus on? Like what need to be on top of my mind starting a business that you think will help me reach my success a lot faster?
Well, I mean, definitely know what you're getting into, and make sure. I think you got to commit the time to get out there and talk to people. That's big. You are the one that's going to have to do it. And I talk to a lot of guys that are wanting to open a business, and they're talking. We share different things, but I always tell them, I said, listen, you guys, you need to know that it's you that's doing the business. You cannot rely on anybody except for you or your team. That's a part of getting the business off the ground. You can't rely on somebody else to bring business to you. You can rely on tools that bring those business. They're tools. That's what helps you there. But you are going to be the one thing that solidifies that business in your community, because that's you. You're doing it. And so don't rely on anybody. The things only focus on the things that you can impact. I mean, I have struggles in business today, and there's things that I can focus on, that I can make an impact on, and there's things that I can't. The things that I can't do anything about it on, I don't touch them. I don't even worry about them. I mean, I'll have a conversation about them. If I need to get more insight, I'll do that. But I'm not going to work on the internet, because I don't understand the internet. I know nothing about the internet. I know how to Google. I know how to get email, and I know, a little bit about how a web page set. I don't know nothing. I don't know what's behind that piece of paper, that page on the computer. So I don't mess with it. I just say, hey, what can we do? Is there anything else we can do? So I don't focus on it. But what I can focus on is, am I getting reviews? Am I talking to my customers who did work? Are we asking them, how did we do? If we did well, ask them, can you go on the internet and tell them how well we did? Tell the community how well we took care of you, because it helps. If I have a staff member that is struggling in an area, what can I do? Where can I help you? Is there anything I can do? Ran into that. Okay, cool. You need extra support? I'm hiring somebody for you to talk to, and you're going to talk to them every week, because I can't I tried it. I tried to encourage you. I tried to give you the tools that I have that work for me. And obviously those tools don't work for you. Well, guess what? We're going to find somebody else that can give you tools. And I hired them, and I let, that's what I can do. I can influence that. So two big things, understand what you're getting into. Only you can impact it, that it's up to you, not anybody else. And the second thing is work on the things that you can impact. Work on the things that you can change, you can form, you can grow and excel in. The others, be aware of them, talk about them, work together with somebody else on them, but don't waste your time, concerning yourself with them, trying to make change, because it ain't going to work. Find something else that your time's going to work with. Those are two bigs that I really try to work on a lot. Sometimes I do pretty good with them, but that's what's got me to where I am today, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, that I think what you brought up is absolutely, I agree with you 1,000%. Focus on what you can impact. This is how we move our business forward. Otherwise, there's just a lot of fluff. Yeah. Just being busy and not really moving the business forward. Mm-hmm. Good. No, absolutely. Now, the second part I want to ask you, because you do have an experience joining a franchise. So if I'm a new business owner, or I'm already in business and I'm thinking to buy a franchise, from your experience, what type of question you think I should ask, or what do I need to care about? What do you need to look at?
For our experience, the way that we did, I think the most important thing is, when you're getting into franchising, you're to become a franchisee. Know what type of franchise that is. I talk to guys that are coming, and thinking about joining 911 a lot. And, off the bat, one of my first statements that I let them know is, hey, you guys, you need to understand the company business type model that you're getting into. It's not Chick-fil-A. You're not buying into a Chick-fil-A, meaning it's not a brick and mortar where people are running to get your Chick-fil-A sandwich. Yeah. It's a business that has a model on how, restoration service can be done in the community, but goes back to what I just said. You now are 911 restoration. We have a network of a bunch of restorers that we can help each other and, share ideas. But, with this particular one, it's knowing what you're doing. Know what type of franchise you're going to be. And it may be a Chick-fil-A. It could be, a wine shop. It could be a restaurant. It could be, a carpet cleaning deal. Lots of different things, but understand what that model is and know how the clients are going to come in, so you know what you're going to do. And I think the second thing that Leslie and I have drawn from is, we talked to a few, and we were very impressed with the headquarters staff. They were knowledgeable. They understood what they were communicating. We knew a little bit. We didn't know everything. And they broke down the how the structure worked, and gave you tangible tools, and also pulled out things that they saw in you that were going to work out well. In training week, for an example, we were working on sales, and Danelle comes out and she tells me and Leslie, she says, listen, I'm going to tell you guys one of your biggest struggles. You guys are going to have to be careful that you don't grow too fast, because the way you connect to people is easy. It just makes it easy for them to draw to you, and you'll be able to help them. So you're going to have to be careful to grow fast. And we've always kept that in our minds. We didn't jump out and go too crazy. So, the people that you're working with, the head staff there in the organization, you need to trust. you need to know that the information that they're sharing is going to be good. And then I think the other thing is, I guess it's, I mean, people can call it, drinking the Kool-Aid or whatever you want to call it. And it can be good. It can be a good statement. It can be a bad statement. But, I mean, if you're going to join a franchise, you buy in, you buy in. Yeah. And I mean, I'm orange through and through. I mean, I love orange. I mean, if I buy a sports car, a classic sports car, I want to get an orange sports car, and it's not specifically because that's our franchise colors. It's in me now, man. I mean, I can retire, sell our business, and I'm probably going to want to buy an orange sports car, buy a Shpizear. But, you believe in the organization. You can come in, and I've experienced this. We've worked together for a long time in the organization, and we have great relationship because I gave feedback in the beginning. Something wasn't working. I didn't wait 6 weeks to 2, 3, 4 months and then just go off. I mean, I called, guys, this ain't working. What can we do? Or here's what I'm doing. What can I do? Or what can headquarters do? Give feedback. You can never give too much feedback in a franchise organization. I can't speak for all franchises because I've only been a part of one. Yeah. But I can tell you what has worked is feedback. The more you tell, the more you talk about, the more you get back. But if you isolate yourself and you just try to run the business just under the name, it's so much more difficult. It's so much more frustrating. You create things in your mind that aren't really true that, if you just had a relationship, it will work. I love the relationship that I have because I feel like that there's opportunity for me to share back, but it didn't happen. I wasn't able to share back within the first, 6 months or 8 months of us being a part of the franchise system. We created a relationship. There was a trust bond between us all. And then now it's a wonderful working back and forth. And yeah. I think we grow together. So I think those 3 things: know what you're getting into, understand the knowledge level of your staff, and 2, build relationship. You're not going to go in and change an organization that's been established for a long time. But if you build a relationship, now you have influence. Yeah. And that's where things happen,
Yeah, good. So what's the vision? If you look the next 2, 3 years, 5 years, you want to build the business and sell the business? Do you want to stay in the business? What's your vision?
There's a lot of things. I have a lot of different ideas of where I would like to go, where we would like to go. I think in the recent future, where I can see maybe 3 years down the road, a self-sustaining office to where we're really not having to be as big a part, and everything's fine. We're getting there. That's kind of a goal. I definitely want to get there pretty fast. Yeah. I'd love for our other branch to continue to develop and get stronger and serve that area. That's been difficult. I didn't grow up in that area. I think that's been a big challenge for me, is because I don't live there. Nobody really knows me. And so yeah. I'm having to engage in the community. I have thought about selling, what would that be like? My carpet cleaning business in the back of my mind. I kind of regret that I didn't try to sell it sooner. Because it was a functioning business. It was working. I probably could have done that, but learn from that. That was a good experience to learn from. So I would sell. I might do that. I don't know. I'd like to. I love helping people. Yeah. I've talked about been looking into teaching, instructing. I'm working on something like that here in our office in Fayetteville. I think sharing knowledge and information with people is very important. Also think that, it's good to have good people in our industry that share positive knowledge that they've learned, experience.
Yeah.
And we need to continue to impact our industry. I see things in our industry that frustrate me, and I don't really know how I'm going to connect and maybe make change there. But I would love to see, contractors, adjusters, carriers, and homeowners operate together in a unified way.
Yeah.
Right now it honestly feels like divide and conquer.
Yeah.
And it stinks because the person who loses is our clients. That's who loses.
Exactly.
Contractor, yeah, we get the job, great. Insurance company pays for a claim, cool. And the carrier, if this is how it goes, because they're not working together, and I see it, I hear it. Our clients tell us they lose a client, so we all lose.
Yeah.
And if I would love to see us all work together. So that's something. I think it's something our industry recognizes, but nobody is really willing to put in the hard work. It's gonna be a lot of work. It really is. But those are some of my future long-term goals. I'm a young guy. I still got some life ahead of me. So, my kids are kind of grown up. So Leslie and I we'll do a lot of traveling. I'm sure, traveling will be part of it as well. So.
Yeah, good. No, but I agree with you on the industry side. Only in the past 3-4 years is when I start hearing more, especially from insurance companies, the importance of customer experience, right? So the conversation really shifted to we need to take care of the client. Right? And when all of us, insurance company, contractors, when we all really think about the client and design a good product for him, this is a win-win for everybody, right? Because as we've been discussing in the past hour, it's all about taking care of clients and taking care of our teams.
It would be nice to have that, and I hope one day that we can do it. Or at least improve on what we got today. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna put a good smile on it, man. See what happens.
We're talking about it. It's gonna be out there in the universe, and we're gonna keep it going, right? So this is how we get things going.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Cool. So, any last thoughts that you want to share with them? Small business owner, clients, anybody kind of on your mind
I think that I just kind of in closing, it's as the Be the Fresh Start podcast. I just close in what the Fresh Start has done in my life. It's gave us a business opportunity that we were looking for, that we could collaborate with a large amount of people and turn our business around because we needed it. And it was great. Along that way, I met hundreds of great network franchise branch owners. We've been to multiple conventions. I've been able to gain so much knowledge by sharing in those opportunities. I've been able to give knowledge, share with other guys in our network, other people in the community, other business owners. It's not always just the 911 guys, sharing with others. And then the experience of serving in the restoration industry and helping people in the worst time and trying to engage with them and let them, help them enjoy a positive turnaround, the fresh start. It's just been so much fun. It's stressful. It's very hard. It can wear on you. And honestly, the wearing sometimes can take you out. But, if you're living a fresh start lifestyle, in the way this thought comes about, it's what makes you go the next day. And, we've grown our business. We're working on new things. We're trying to get better. And, we're sharing that with other people. And, that's what this whole experience has been, living the fresh start, and living that opportunity and, do it all. It doesn't all have to be in business. I do it in church, with people that we go with. We can serve in that way. It doesn't always have to be, the restoration company. It's just a great way to live, a great way to connect with your community, and it's a fun way to do business. It really is. It's a lot of fun, and it's been a blast.
This is awesome. I think it's really important to find financial success and fulfillment and have both of them. I think this is really where we really get to enjoy life. The gift of having both of them at the same time, it's absolutely blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yes. Ryan, thank you so much. This was awesome. So much. I think this is great information. I think a lot of small business owner, when they're getting into the business, to hear you share your experience, your struggle, your the beautiful thing is when we are sharing information, and you've been saying it, I think 100 times in the past hour, is hearing from each other, right? Because you're going through the experience now. It's not like you're telling us a story of a business that you built 20 years ago. You're in the business today, waking up tomorrow morning, you're in the business, you have clients, and you're also going through the struggle of building new habits, right? Evolving in the business so the business itself can evolve and get to where you want it to be. So I think what you shared today, it's absolutely amazing. So again, thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks, Idan. I appreciate you having me on. It's been a good time. It's been the last several minutes together. It's been a lot of fun. All right.
Stay on.
Take care.